Good morning, everybody. I'm Senator Brian Jones. I'm the California Senate Minority Leader, and I represent the 40th District, which is basically the middle part of San Diego County. And I just want to thank everybody here that's here today. What a beautiful San Diego morning we have at our county administration building. I appreciate everybody making the trip. We're here to talk about this morning Senate Bill 554, which is known as the Safety Before Criminal Sanctuary Act. Our measure does two simple things that I'm afraid some of the folks that are protesting this morning didn't read to find out what the bill actually does. Our measure does two simple things to protect the public from criminal illegal immigrants. And I want to say violent felony criminal illegal immigrants. Number one, it prohibits local jurisdictions from further restricting cooperation with immigration officials beyond what current sanctuary law allows. Number two, it mandates cooperation for specific violent crimes that are convicted. Right now, under California's so-called sanctuary state law enforcement has the option to cooperate with immigration officials for individuals convicted of specific felonies, including serious or violent crimes, child abuse, weapons crimes, DUIs, trafficking controlled substances, human trafficking, rape, kidnapping, torture, and gang activity. Shockingly, a few months ago, in this building right here behind us, the radical Democrats on the County Board of Supervisors passed an ordinance declaring the San Diego County as a super sanctuary county to protect the most dangerous illegal immigrant criminals in our community from deportation. Their reckless ordinance prohibited law enforcement from cooperating with immigration officials for illegal immigrants convicted of any crime, including the worst felonies that I just listed. This makes it easier for convicted illegal immigrant felons to return to San Diego streets and continue their crime spree, regardless of how many felony convictions they have. The super sanctuary policy not only undermines public safety, but it also conflicts with federal law and hinders immigration enforcement. Our bill is a direct response to this radical, unconscionable policy and was born out of concerns from the immigrant communities in my district. Our bill doesn't just stop there. Not only does SB 54 prohibit radical ordinances like San Diego's, but it also requires law enforcement to cooperate with immigration officials for the heinous felonies that are currently optional. The Safety Before Criminal Sanctuary Act is a common sense measure, a simple reform to tighten up California's sanctuary state policy in favor of better public safety. Importantly, this bill ensures violent criminals are not shielded from federal immigration authorities, using every tool in the toolbox to keep our communities safe. We have a strong coalition of supporters here today, including Senator Rosalicia Ochoa Bogue, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, San Diego County Supervisor Joel Anderson, the San Diego County Deputy Sheriff's Association is in support, El Cajon Mayor Bill Wells, Vista Mayor John Franklin, San Marcos City Councilman Ed Musgrove, Cherie Finn, mother of a survivor, child welfare advocate, founder of the RAD movement, supporters of the RAD movement, Amy Reichert, founder of Restore San Diego, and additional San Diego community activists. At this time, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Senator Rosalicia Ochoa Bogue, who is a co-author of the measure and will be delivering her remarks in both English and Spanish. Rosalicia.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Senator Jones, for inviting me this morning. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Senator Rosalicia Ochoa Bogue, representing California's 19th Senate District. I stand before you as a proud co-author of Senate Bill 554, titled Safety Before Criminal Sanctuary. As a mother and a member of this community, I'm deeply committed to ensuring the safety and well-being of our residents. Our neighborhoods should be the sanctuaries for families where everyone feels secure, regardless of their background or immigration status. This legislation is not just about enforcing laws, it's about protecting all of our communities. By ensuring that violent offenders are not shielded from federal authorities, we create a safer environment for everyone, including undocumented families who deserve protection from those who wish to harm them. Many believe sanctuary policies were created with noble intentions to protect hardworking, law-abiding, undocumented individuals from deportation. However, when these policies extend protections to violent criminals, they undermine public trust and safety for all residents, including those they are meant to protect. Communities lose faith in the system when they see offenders released back into the streets, leading to a reluctance to report crimes or cooperate with law enforcement. Senate Bill 554 is a compassionate and necessary response to the challenges posed by current sanctuary policies. By refining these laws, we honor the original intent of protecting vulnerable communities while ensuring that those who commit violent crimes are held accountable. Together, we can create a California where safety and justice prevails for everyone. Thank you. Ahora, buenos días. Damas y caballeros, si me pueden escuchar. Damas y caballeros, si me pueden escuchar. Muy buenos días. Este mensaje es para ustedes, por favor. Gracias por acompañarnos hoy. Soy la senadora Rosilicie Ochoa Bogue, representando el Distrito 19 de California, y me presento ante ustedes como orgullosa coautora del proyecto de ley del Senado 554, o SB 5554, como conocido en inglés, titulado Seguridad ante el Santuario Criminal. Como madre y miembro de esta comunidad, estoy profundamente comprometida a garantizar la seguridad y el bienestar de todos los residentes. Nuestros vecindarios deben ser santuarios para las familias donde todos se sienten seguros, independientemente de antecedentes o estados migratorios. Esta legislación, claramente, no se trata solo de hacer cumplir las leyes, se trata de proteger a todas nuestras comunidades, al garantizar que los delincuentes violentos, escuchen, delincuentes violentos no estén protegidos de las autoridades federales, creamos un entorno más seguro para todos, incluidas las familias indocumentadas que merecen protección de quienes desean hacerles daño. ¿Claro? Muchos creen que las políticas de santuarios se crearon con intenciones nobles. Proteger a las personas indocumentadas, trabajadoras y respetuosas de la ley de la deportación. Sin embargo, cuando esas políticas extienden las protecciones a los criminales violentos, pierden la confianza pública y ponen en riesgo la seguridad de todos los residentes. Las comunidades pierden la fe en el sistema cuando ven que los delincuentes vuelven a las calles, lo que genera una resistencia a denunciar los delitos o cooperar con las fuerzas de orden pública. El proyecto de ley 554 del Senado es una respuesta compasiva y necesaria a los problemas que causan las políticas santuario. Al refinar estas leyes, honramos la intención original de proteger a las comunidades vulnerables y, al mismo tiempo, garantizar que quienes cometen delitos violentos rindan cuentas. Juntos podemos crear una California donde la seguridad y la justicia prevalezcan para todos. Mil gracias por estar aquí y espero responder cualquier pregunta que tengan. Mil gracias.
Senator Rosalicia Ochoa Bogue is a superstar in Sacramento. Thank you for coming down. She drove down from Riverside this morning. Had to get up early to get here, so I appreciate that. Also from Riverside, coming down this morning to join us in support and just talk some common sense about the simple reforms that this bill makes is Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you all for coming here today. As my job as law enforcement here today, and as this bill progresses, is going to be trying to impose some common sense, some reason, and some truth into what we are experiencing here in California, particularly because of the failures of SB 54. SB 54, and let me make this perfectly clear, SB 54 does absolutely nothing but harm the people that they say they are protecting. SB 554 will absolutely allow law enforcement to make sure that we are able to prevent child molesters, rapists, murderers, robbers who victimize us, who victimize them from being released into our communities. When SB 54 was pressed upon us and when we were lied to about SB 54, we told the legislature, law enforcement told the legislature of the consequences that were going to happen because of this. They have demonized law enforcement. They have made our immigrant communities afraid of local law enforcement. And the fact of California is local law enforcement has never been involved with immigration reform. That is the job of the federal government. Our job as deputies and police officers is to respond to 911 calls for emergency and to help people who are being victimized. In our help of those that are being victimized, we are arresting the people doing the victimizing. And it is unconscionable. It lacks any common sense and reason for any person in California to say that we must release those criminals back into our community to molest our children again, to rape our women again, to murder other people again. It makes absolutely no sense. I commend the senators for bringing this to everyone's attention. My challenge to the media is to tell the truth. My challenge to all of you is to be as loud as you possibly can in Sacramento to these tone-deaf people in that building that do not care about the safety and security of their constituents. Thank you, Senator. This is a fantastic bill.
You know, I think it's important for all of Californians to know that law enforcement professionals in California, sheriff's deputies, police officers, and other law enforcement officers in California are the most professional, best trained, most compassionate professionals in the country when it comes to law enforcement. So I want to thank the sheriff for being here. Next speaker is former sheriff's captain, San Diego sheriff's captain, and current San Marcos City Councilman, Ed Musgrove.
Thank you, Senator. I appreciate this opportunity. I practiced law enforcement in San Diego County for 25 years. We had a great partnership with the agencies, and like Sheriff Bianco said, our focus was on public safety, responding to emergencies, requests for service. When we came across people committing crimes, the first inclination was not to check their immigration status. They were booked into custody. And a lot has happened since then with the state and primarily the governors going back several, their failure to provide adequate housing, pushing down felony criminals into our local jail systems, and so that now we cannot book people into our jails. So they come back out onto our streets, and they are there victimizing us once again. We have never been engaged in the practice of immigration enforcement. When those materials that came forward about a person's status were there, then immigration was notified and they came and took care of the prisoner. It was not our job to hand them over. So this bill, SB 54, has done more damage to our communities. The meddling from Sacramento and now our Board of Supervisors in attempting to restrict law enforcement from doing their job and protecting our communities is a tragedy. SB 554 will roll that back and bring us back to a position where in this state, where we may disagree with SB 54, because immigration is a federal issue, it is a separate issue from public safety. It has been conflated, and now we have people that seem to think that criminals who are from a different country have more rights than the victims in this country, and many of those victims are immigrants. They are preying on each other, they're preying on us, and it has to stop. Thank you. Thank you, Senator.
Next, I would like to introduce a local leader that has been on the forefront of public safety his entire career, including serving in the California State Assembly and serving in the California State Senate, and now as a San Diego County Supervisor, Joel Anderson.
I'd like to thank our Senate Republican leader, Jones, for introducing this legislation. And thank you, Senator, for co-authoring it. Senator Jones has been an incredible partner in East County and a champion for public safety in our communities. It's a pleasure to work with you, your amazing staff, to serve our constituents. Today, I'm grateful for Senator Jones for being laser focused on keeping our kids and communities safe. When I served in the state Senate, I led the charge against SB 54 in 2017, gathering thousands, hundreds of thousands of signatures and forcing amendments into the bill. In fact, I traveled the state meeting with every major newspaper, and many of them took the position of opposing it, including the LA Times. When I walked them through the arguments of why these people prey on dreamers. See, they're not committing crimes against us because they know we'll press charges. They go after the undocumented communities, the people that we say that came here as a 2-year-old and spent their whole life as U.S. citizens, but they're working through the immigration policy. Those people are the people that they prey on. Those are the weakest members of our society, and they deserve to be protected. And yet this bill exploits them to allow murderers, rapists, child molesters into our community, and there's absolutely no excuse for it. I'm getting a sign. I'm getting so excited. I'm getting too far from the mic. Even though this bill passed, SB 54 was wrong then, and it's wrong today. We shouldn't be helping hardened criminals who prey on the dreamers and our citizens. In fact, at the county level, just recently, on a 3-2 split vote, my colleagues chose to spend $5 million per year on legal defense for illegal aliens to prevent their being deported, even though many of them were known felons. These people had committed rape, murder, human trafficking, and drug trafficking. Under federal law, they can never become U.S. citizens. And yet we're squandering money from the homeless and from other social issues to protect these folks. That's why SB 554 is so important, to bring common sense back to California. We shouldn't be helping anyone evade the law enforcement to prey on our people, which is why Senator Jones' legislation ensures violent offenders are not shielded from federal immigration authorities, is a positive step in the right direction. As elected officials, public safety should always be one of our top priorities, and this legislation helps keep us all safer. Thank you, Senators, for your hard work. We deeply appreciate it here in East County.
We're going to hear briefly from 2 local elected officials that are having to deal with this issue every day on their streets and in their neighborhoods and their local cities. First, I would like to welcome up El Cajon Mayor Bill Wells.
Thank you, Senator Jones. Last week, the City Council of El Cajon voted to reject the idea of being a sanctuary city. It also voted to reject the idea that federal law is superseded by state law. As a mayor, I can speak for every elected official in this place and every mayor and every city council person. Your main job is to keep your people safe. Just like if you're a father, your main job is to keep your family safe. In response to that, protesters say that we're racist. Protesters say that we're heartless. But let me ask you a question. If you're not against trying to save the 300,000 children that are in sex slavery this very moment, being raped 8 to 15 times a day, what is wrong with you? If you're against the idea that criminal gangs that set up criminal networks in your neighborhood, we should leave those people alone, what is wrong with you? And if you think that people like Lake and Riley, who were raped and killed near a college dorm, don't matter, what is wrong with you? Why are you so connected to your political ideology that you could care less about what happens to the innocent of our state, our government, and our local cities? I want to thank Senator Jones for having the courage to bring this forward. It takes a lot of courage to do this, but it's a new dawn in America, and this is what the people want. They want safety. Thank you very much.
Next from North County, our good friend and mayor from Vista, John Franklin.
Thank you very much, Senator Jones. I'm John Franklin from the city of Vista. I represent a city of immigrants, majority Latino. I'm here because the County Board of Supervisors voted to go beyond the sanctuary state law that protects non-serious criminals, and they decided to pass an ordinance that literally protects convicted murderers, child rapists, and other rapists. It's a wrong-minded law that we are here today to oppose. We are here today to protect the immigrant communities from those who are convicted of murder, convicted of rape, and convicted of child molestation. We are not here to victimize. We are here to protect our immigrant communities. Senator Jones, Senator Ochoa Bog, thank you very much for your leadership on this. We're grateful for it.
Our last speaker this morning, and I hope everybody will give special attention to, is Shari Finn, who is the mother of a survivor, child welfare advocate, and founder of the RAD movement, who's going to share her personal story on what is broken with California, and why this makes sense to fix it. So, Shari Finn, please come share with us, please.
So unfortunate that they're screaming shame on you when a mother of a survivor is going to speak right now, but thank you for taking the time to hear my story. Today I speak to you not only as a mother, but as an advocate for justice. Both my child and countless others who have suffered due to a system that has failed to protect them. My child's life was irrevocably changed by a horrific act committed by someone who should have never had the opportunity to cause such harm. This individual was not only in our community unlawfully, but had previously committed multiple crimes and had multiple strikes. Yet, due to sanctuary city policies, they were shielded from the legal consequences, preventing law enforcement from detaining and deporting them, despite prior offenses, which did include multiple strikes. These policies restricted authorities from cooperating with federal immigration enforcement, ultimately allowing this individual to remain in our community, a decision that had devastating consequences for my family. I want to emphasize that this is not about immigrants. Our communities are built and enriched by hardworking individuals who come here to seek a better life. However, there must be a distinction between those who contribute positively to society and those who pose a threat to its safety. When policies prevent law enforcement from taking necessary action against individuals with criminal histories, we all become vulnerable. As a mother, my duty is to protect my child from harm, but it's also the duty of our laws to safeguard all members of our community. When those laws fail, they leave families like mine broken, grieving, and searching for answers. The pain we have endured is immeasurable, and it serves as a tragic reminder to why reform is so desperately needed. I am here to support lawmakers, community leaders, and fellow citizens to take a hard look at the sanctuary policies and consider the unintended consequences. We need a system that prioritizes safety and justice above political agendas, one that ensures individuals who commit crimes face appropriate consequences, regardless of their immigration status. And in my daughter's case, that did not occur. We cannot allow this pattern to continue. No parent should experience the heartbreak and trauma that our family has faced. Through this painful experience, we realized just how unaware and vulnerable we had been to the possibility of such a tragedy occurring in our own backyard. From this realization, and out of a deep desire to help others, my husband and I formed what we now call the RAD movement. Our journey of navigating this nightmare, learning the system from every aspect, and advocating for justice showed us that we could use our knowledge to assist others in similar situations. The RAD movement supports families through every stage of crisis. This includes the initial response when a loved one goes missing, facilitating communication with law enforcement, ensuring immediate care upon recovery, and guiding families through the aftercare and assisting them through navigating the legal system thereafter. Together, we can push for reform that prioritizes safety, accountability, and justice. By standing united, we can advocate for policies that protect our communities and return us back to the proper rule of law to ensure a brighter, safer future for all. Thank you for your support and commitment to this vital cause. And my husband and I would like to personally thank the senators for putting this bill before you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Shari is our last speaker. I want to thank everybody for being here and everybody's dedication to protecting our families, our children, our immigrant communities. I want to say one thing in observation of this morning. I think it's very telling that the protesters got the most loudest and the most obnoxious and the most aggressive when the two ladies were here sharing their stories, especially when Shari's here sharing her personal story of how her family and her community was personally affected and victimized by a violent felon that should have been locked up. SB 554 is about protecting the public and aligning California with federal immigration enforcement for the worst offenders. I'm going to underscore, underline, bold, italic, convicted, violent felons. Later this afternoon, we will be distributing a press release summarizing today's events, featuring quotes from our supporters, including a link for a petition for the public to support the bill. Thank you all again for attending. If you'd like to follow me on social media to keep up with the advances of this bill and other things that we're working on in the California State Senate, my social media handle is @SENBrianJones. And I want to thank all of the media for being here today. If you would like to ask questions of individual speakers when they're here, we're available for that. We're going to end the press conference now, and thank you all for being here. God bless you.